and our True Light. So True Light has our blue violet based powder, right? And then our True Light White has white. We have our hydrolyzed keratin in True Light, and we also have the aloe vera. Okay, and then with our True Light White, our Cutiplex is the protectant. Now they don't lift the same, okay? True Light White is intended for darker, coarser hair to lift up a little bit more. We have the lifting power up to 8 levels. In our True Light, we have a lifting power up to 7 levels. Okay, so this is definitely something to consider. So people sometimes think, oh, it's blue violet because it's gonna help tone the hair, right? And that's not what it's for, right? So the blue violet is for actually like when someone's getting like a global lightening service, they're going all over light. Sometimes when they look in the mirror, they're like maybe a little bit intimidated by the underlying pigment that they see. They see that bright yellow, they see that bright orange, and they might feel a little uncomfortable looking at themselves, right? Yeah. So this line was made by hairdressers for hairdressers. So like, oh, they put it this color so that you could just help mask that as they're processing. That was the intent of it, right?
Yeah.
So now that we know that they lift just slightly different, okay, we know this.
But white bleach is stronger than
it is.
Yeah.
It is. But it's still delicate and it's still protecting your hair as it's working.
Yes.
So that's something that we always get excited. I get excited about. But how to use it? So we have a couple of different ways that we can mix it. We can mix it 1-to-1, and both of these can be mixed 1-to-1. Thicker is quicker. So if you're mixing it 1-to-1, it's gonna move fast.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But this is something that's a good tool for us. We can use this for our freehand painting, for our balayage and things like that. We can mix 1-to-1. Now when we're doing, we could do 1-to-1.5, which is our standard mixing, and that's really great for foil work because it's gonna stick and it has good spreadability. We're gonna be able to fully saturate. We can fold it up in a foil, no problem. And this is not the way that you have to do it. These are just ideas, okay? Because we can. Because we can mix it differently, these are just some ideas that you can use. So if you're gonna mix it 1-to-2, that's something that I personally would do a lot of color correction with. If I need to, you know, lighten somebody's ends, maybe I'm gonna do that with a 1-to-2, and because I want to give it that extra buffer, right? Instead of doing quicker and thicker, I might do something a little bit thinner and slower, just to give me that control. So both of these can be processed up to 50 minutes. On the scalp, you can use 5, 8.5, and 20.
On scalp.
Off scalp, you can use 30 and 40. So 30 and 40. How often are you guys using 30 and 40 with your lightener? It's seldom, right? It's not all the time. It's not all the time. It can be used. It can be done. But why are we going to do it? And let's, you know.
For really, really dark hair, very resist hair.
Right.
And even. I did yesterday.
Really?
You did yesterday.
Really,
and how did it come out? And it still feels good, right?
Yeah.
So we have to consider what type of guests need these things.
Yes.
And sometimes I'm just not going to use it. Because we can still get there with the 20. But sometimes it's going to take so long, right?
Yeah.
So we have these tools available for us for those reasons. And it is not something to be fearful of, because sometimes people get a little uncomfortable with it. But 30 and 40, it's something to be used with the appropriate skill set for the right guest, right? And we know that we can't use 30 and 40 on scalp, because that's going to cause irritation, scalp irritation, and things of that nature.
But if they have very, very dark hair, it's scalp.
Right, so if they have very dark hair and you want to go very light, I mean, using our techniques, like maybe like foil work, to make sure it's not getting on the scalp. So we could do a bunch of foils everywhere to get the most brightness out of the hair.
If they want to bleach their hair, they
all
have
over.
scalp.
Right, exactly.
You prefer to do with the foil than
No, if somebody wants virgin bleach.
I think it just depends on,
virgin bleach. They wanted bleach hair.
I mean, I would prefer not using foils as a hairstylist. I really like doing a lot of freehand work personally. I like doing as much freehand work as possible. If I don't have to use an additional product, that means i.e. like a cap, foil, any of those, if I cannot use those things, I'm happier as a stylist because I feel like I flow better. Like it's more, you know,
Creative.
artistic. Exactly.
But you said off a scalp, but
So off scalp, let's say someone wants to go super light, you can take them back-to-back foils onto the scalp and get super close to the scalp, but off of the scalp. You can get close to it, but off it,
yes.
right? So that we're able to get as much lifting power. It's just one
But
technique.
what about the scalp?
Just gentle, like don't touch the skull.
We get very close. You have to
But
pretend.
still you can see the dark.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yes,
I
you
thi-
will see the dark.
At the end, you can mix it. Just
And then we could do like something like a melt or something like
To
that
blend.
to blend.